Roll call, please.
Alderman Jim Bayer.
Here.
Alderman John Gibson.
Here.
Alderman Jim Gillen.
Here.
Alderman Darby Patrick.
Here.
Alderman Mindy Schubert.
Here.
Vice Mayor Teresa Mock.
Here.
Mayor Pat Stillwell.
Here. I want to welcome everybody here, and if you have a comment, all persons wishing to address the board shall stand and state the name and address and shall be limited to the brief presentation. The board may not participate in the discussion and cannot vote on the subject you present. Absence of emergency, the earliest time the board might discuss and vote your matter will be at the next board meeting. And the individuals and group representatives who have placed the agenda on tonight, something on tonight's agenda, they will be allowed to make a brief comment that the agenda item is open for discussion. Okay, anybody got anything to say? Anybody that's visiting or coming in? Okay, we'll move on then to the business. Business. A, discussion and consideration of the report from the town administrator search committee.
All right, so in front of you should have a copy of a cover letter and resume for Mr. James Stables. We did an interview with him today and has think that he actually brings a lot to the table in regards of his previous work experience, leadership, coming from Johnson City, and different things that are actually. I'll just have to let him. If you want to speak and introduce yourself and
I can.
Sure.
Honorable Mayor, Vice Mayor, Alderman. My name is Jim Stables, and I'm honored to stand before you as Alderman Gibson was stating. We met earlier today. I've had a very long municipal career. I've done 40 years of municipal service. Came out when I was 17 from high school, went straight into the fire department, served in the fire department for the most part, wrapped up my career as a interim city manager. And I've been blessed with a little bit of experience in a lot of different things, having that opportunity. Serving as an emergency manager, I was able to get to experience all of the department's challenges, whether it's public works, utilities, solid waste, fire, police, EMS. So I got the full breadth of all of those things. The blessing is I'm not ready to hang it up permanently. So the opportunity came and I reached out to your administrator, and I stand before you humbled and interested in serving as your town administrator. Anything I missed?
I think so. Thank you very much. So with the help of MTAS, MTAS has also assisted with reviewing the resumes and different things, and by far I feel like you all have anything you want to add. By far I feel like this is the most qualified candidate. He had a great interview with us earlier today in regards of speaking to some different scenarios and previous experience.
One of the things I also want to highlight out is that he has also got budget experience. He did a balanced budget of $267 million. So he does have that background, especially with working in every other department. He also has public speaking experience. What was it?
POI.
PIO.
PIO.
Yeah.
Public Information Officer.
Mm-hmm. So he has done press conferences and stuff before, and knows has been trained in how to do those as well. He's just very well qualified really qualified.
Thank you.
Does anybody have anything that you would like to ask him?
Can I ask him what we're facing, about what we're facing with the
He knows.
sewer?
We
With the
discussed
sewer?
it today.
Yeah, because we went up there the other day, and I've got a letter right here that, about the violations that we've got up there.
And what was the one thing, Emily, you said that, when we chose someone that they would need to know you told me, I can't remember what it was, I didn't write it down, you said there would be one thing they need, and it had to do with money. Was it the ongoing construction at the sewer, it was something with the sewer?
I don't recall.
I mean, good Lord, I'm
I'm
just
sorry.
blessed with that, but it's something to do with the,
I think one of the immediate things that will be coming up is our interactions with TDEC and the violations in the past and the additional violations and the decisions regarding operation of the plant and the consideration of using an outside third party to run the plant.
oh yeah, but Emily, it had to do something with the money and the ability to, I think we were talking about the phases that were ending one phase and going to start another one at the sewer. She's talking about the money, which is one of the questions. I don't wanna get into that right now, but we were saying they would be able to make,
Our art funding that's reimbursable, I think that's what you're maybe referring to. We discussed that, cause you have to, you know, it's only on a reimbursement basis.
Well, we had some newer violations here recently because I got this message, it's come to me. And so notice of violations, and there's several violations in here that somebody's going to inherit. So to take care of that, I mean, because we just need some guidance really up. Our biggest problem right now is the sewer. And so, I don't mean to sound negative or anything, because it does, it's this amount, these violations amount up, and we're a small town.
did we hire that lawyer, that had worked with
Is it Johnson City?
TDEC? You said it, and he would be,
Yes,
Our best
we're
interest-
still working with Attorney Penny out of Knoxville. Unfortunately, the additional violations have added an additional complexity to the negotiations. We're in negotiations to present our case regarding a prior commissioner's order that you're aware of. And now we've had some additional violations. And the reason it's of immediate nature is to quickly move because we don't have an operator at this point. We're going to continue to have violations. We need to offer I believe the best approach is to be able to offer TDEC a viable solution to our problem and cure what they're finding as violations. That requires that plant have, number one, some kind of outside qualified people operating it. And number two is I think it's going to require somebody, we have an engineering firm now that's working with us. But there's questions about how efficiently they've been working with us, perhaps even a change in the engineering firm, so that we can go back to TDEC, Mr. Penny can, and say, look, yeah, we know we have a problem. We've now decided that the best course of action is to hire an outside firm to operate the plant for us. And we've also retained the services of an engineer to evaluate the ongoing projects we have at the sewer plant, to make sure they're going to solve the ongoing violations. Because it's only going to get worse, and the more we get piled up, the less likely it is we're going to be able to have, or less likely is Mr. Penny's going to be able to present a favorable case for us to the TDEC.
Well, I've got a letter here from him to, that came to the mayor, so I'll let you read it later.
we had someone come into the office today where I work, and they wanted a, notice of what the tap fee would be. They needed someone with the town to, complete a form stating, and this was for their construction loan, stating how much money they would be responsible for paying to tap onto the sewer. I want to know who in this office is going to write that letter.
I just did it.
Oh, did you? Okay.
Yeah, he came in just before the meeting.
Okay.
Well, that's good.
Yeah, because they were talking about the time constraints that, he said that if they didn't get all of this stuff lined up just so-so and the construction done, that the bank could actually take everything from them as a violation of their contract, which, you know, that's pretty,
That's a lot.
yeah.
Right there. That's serious
It's
stuff.
very, yeah.
And it is, bad shape up there, because Teresa and I went up there and just checked around things and asked about things, and they're trying their best up there to do what they're supposed to do, but now that their supervisors left.
Well, I make a motion to accept the report that John and the committee gave. I feel like we're getting,
The recommendation,
yeah, the recommendation.
A recommendation for what? I didn't hear you.
for Mr. Stables.
Oh,
No, we're doing the record, or to approve, like, we're moving forward with.
Motion to do something?
I mean,
I didn't.
I don't understand what you're.
are we done with the committee report? Because we're
I mean, the
going on
only
top.
other thing that I had to add to that was the recommendation of the committee was to proceed with extending the offer to Mr. Stables. That was all I had left with that.
You know. So there's a motion.
No, that's the end of that. So the next one would be more of your item B would be.
Can I ask Mr. Staples a question?
Yeah, sure.
What is your plans for your present two positions?
My present two positions.
Yes.
You're talking about my consulting firm, and so I explained to the board that, respectfully, I'm gonna have to turn in a 2-week notice to the company I work for, but my consulting business will go dormant while I would sit as your administrator, because that adds too many, and the attorney can speak to this, but it adds too many, conflicts or potential conflicts. So that will go dormant while I sit as your administrator.
Okay.
The other job I will not be doing, but I would do need to give them a 2-week notice to be respectful.
Yes.
When did you find out about us meeting someone? How did you
A week
find
ago?
out? Yeah.
A week ago, I think, and it was, the newspaper actually,
Well, good.
I believe I called
Chris
you
had one in
because
there.
I asked about them filling the position tonight, because I think that's what was reported. And I called up and said, you know, I just sent my information in, I apologize that it was late, I just found out about it. And that's how I got down this road with you.
That's all I have to answer my question.
So, what you're saying, John, is to hire him tonight?
That's what, we've got to do something in regards of
Yes.
with Emily leaving on tomorrow, it's being her last day. So, I mean, what we discussed, the committee discussed earlier, would recommend would be that we extend the offer letter to Mr. Stables, kind of the same current rate of pay as the city manager, with a review process in 6 months. So we're at that 6-month process, we go back and evaluate like the severance, any type of terms, if you want to continue, just something of those nature, we could review that to establish that. Then, because that would be a different, would be a different board. Is that right?
And do you have a starting off pay?
It
You
would be-
discussed that with him?
We discussed it would be at the same, kind of along the same lines, the same as the city manager is currently. Yes,
Started off with what she started off with?
No, what she's getting paid currently is what.
at the same rate of pay. So it's not gonna have like the budget impact. But That's,
Yeah, I mean, with the experience,
no, it's,
I think it's budgeted.
Emily has 3 job titles. Is he filling all 3?
No, he will be
you
at
know, we're gonna have to ultimately hire
the
another.
CMFO. So that will be on the town administrator to hire the CMFO. The money's but has always been budgeted, for the
Right.
CMFO. So it's just never been filled.
Which we've also received 4 applicants for that position, which, depending, that would be worth bringing into review. But that would be, more Mr. position to review those in versus us. We're just trying to get somebody in here to be able to continue operations, with Ms. Wood's departure tomorrow.
If I can add, you asked about the other jobs as well, and the work I do, I only have certain things scheduled, so I will work in concert with them if you all select me, and I will try and make myself available immediately. I understand she's leaving tomorrow.
She is.
So the answer is, the sooner I can get, one, I'd like to meet with her a little bit and kind of smoothly hand off and understand. And secondly, I would be able to field calls and deal with things immediately and get things down the road for you. So I hope that all made sense, but I shared that with the board as well when we met and talked.
So,
I'm sure that you got qualifications, and that you still have to be certified out of this town. And you gotta go through the background check and everything. It ain't gonna happen in 2 or 3 days. You might be looking at a month or something, I don't know.
Whatever you all have to do, whatever you all have to
I'm sure you
do.
have your CMF, I can't.
I do not have CMFO.
You do have that?
I do not.
Oh,
I
okay.
do not have CMFO.
So you will have to get that then.
no.
No, we want to hire.
That's not-
You're hiring a
to hire.
CMFO is the way I understand it.
Right,
to hire.
no, we're not having the same person do all the jobs again. So the money's budgeted, he will hire a CMFO. We have 4 applicants, if that is their background.
That job's posted right now too.
Exactly.
Well, the job is posted where?
The CMFO position was posted with the city manager position. It was 2 postings.
Okay.
So there's 2.
2 separate job postings.
It'd be like having Mike and Penny when they was.
Well, you lost me, is, I understood that he's gonna be the CFO. Now, that's
No,
what I
it's the
understood.
city manager.
So,
City
you're gonna be
manager.
the town manager, and you're gonna be the recorder. So
That's it.
now we still have to find a CFO.
Yes.
Correct.
Okay.
So I make a motion to extend an offer to Mr. Stables at the current salary rate that Ms. Woods has, and with a reevaluation in 6 months.
I'll second that. Which one is 6 months? Could you put that in
It's
there?
February.
February 1st?
Yep.
Or what was that February meeting day?
Yeah, that would be falling in line where we did Emily. She was intern too.
Any discussion then? We've got a motion and a second. Do we have any discussion?
So I got a question. If you're going to start him at, what are you making, 83,000?
82.4, isn't it?
82.4, then what are you gonna start that CFO out?
I have no
I
idea.
mean, somewhere's along the line,
There's hey, James, there's money budgeted. You can go back and look at the budget to see
I don't
exactly
care about
what's
what's in
there.
the budget.
There's
You're gonna run out of money
in the
sooner or
budget.
later because you guys.
James, if you would look
crazy.
at the budget, you would know that there's money in there,
I
and
know
it's been
what's in there.
budgeted.
We don't vote for that.
The money has been there. There's never been a position there, but the money's always been there. But we have a motion in a second, so I call for the question. Discussion over?
Any other discussion? Need to call for a motion, roll call for
Alderman Jim Bear,
Yes.
Alderman John Gibson.
Yes.
Alderman Jim Gillum,
I'm gonna have to go no on this for that.
Alderman Darby Patrick.
Yes.
Alderman Mindy Schubert,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Teresa Moss,
Yes,
Mayor Pat Stillwell.
yes. And in the 6 months, you will be reevaluated again, so.
It's a
This is,
temporary
in other
position.
words, a trial basis for 6 months.
This-
I believe the term was interim. I'll serve as an interim.
Interim, okay.
That way it'll
I
make it
didn't hear
clear.
that, thank you.
It'd be just like the way Emily was when she came from my
Interim.
intern.
Yeah.
See how he likes us, he may not even like us.
That's right.
It works both ways, sir.
We don't like each other sometimes. So,
Makes for better decision making when everybody doesn't agree.
And I guess this is not for discussion, that you want to consider if we're going to combine the CMFO and the city recorder position, that might be something to consider. Is that a feasible thing, Alderman?
Is it city's recorder being with the city manager is not one job or with?
Well, there's actually 3 different positions.
Yeah.
so-
Yeah, I would say, It just depends on, the city recorder requires a certification unless you have a master's in public administration.
I'm 5 classes away from my master's in public
Okay,
administration.
I'm sorry to put you on the
That's
spot.
not
I
a
didn't
problem.
know.
That's not a problem. I
But-
moved in the middle of the program and ended up having to go online to do it, and that didn't bode well for me, so
That's
I can finish it, for sure.
No, it's fine, it's just that, the requirements for city recorder is just that you get the certification, which is not hard, so, you know, it just depends on who really has the ability to get the certification.
So the CMFO has.
So it could be
You're
anybody.
going to get the CMFO then?
No.
I mean,
I won't get the CMFO. That would probably be easier for me to get, quite honestly, because of my experience and budget, but
He won't hire us either.
I say all that to say, there's people that do that on a daily basis, and that's not what I've done. I've managed it from a high level, but I have not drilled down as the CMFO would in that instance. Does that make sense?
Yeah, you'd still be responsible for it, right?
Absolutely. Yeah, when you sit in that position, you're responsible for everything.
so we have to hire a CMFO then, and.
He will.
He will. And, then, could that not be combined with the city recorder?
Can they not have, can the CMFO not have a recorder certificate as well?
Either, anybody can.
Anybody can. So yes, the CMF, if we hire a CMFO, they could then go get the recorder certificate through the state.
Okay.
So those two positions, or one of the two positions could be combined into one, but it's just a matter of a certification.
Right.
Many agencies do that. Every one that I've experienced in Tennessee here combines the finance position with.
Well, that sounds better,
Since this was a special meeting just to address those two topics, and we voted on the topics, I believe.
so you will be starting in 2 weeks then?
Correct, my official start date, but if you all have questions, please, my number is on the resume. If you need me, my cell phone rings all the time. I'm gonna try and sit down with the outgoing manager Wood and visit with her a bit so I can kind of get the lay of the land and make sure that there's no landmines that I'm not aware of.
Just come in here tomorrow and just keep her here all day.
Yeah, every little bit of time you can.
So, your cell phone and everything right here, is that personal cell phone?
Yes,
Okay, so when you come in, you'll get a cell phone with the city,
correct.
and that way you can.
Yeah, whenever she leaves, I'll actually take it as
Yeah.
soon as you all give me the go-ahead. And
Okay,
I don't know who does the background or whatever, but I'm positive that won't be an issue, so.
Alan can do it.
Before we run out of
Here,
here,
let me sure Emily puts that in requesting.
Emily, don't you think it would be best if we have that guy that we talked to today, that Matt, come to the workshop and talk about what his business does and how they can manage the sewer plant?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
And,
Probably, did you want to do a special call meeting for that since
Well-
we'll be out of town?
He said he wouldn't, I don't know, do you think there would be any advantage to us going ahead where he could explain to them exactly what they do? Because the man was impressive, I was really, and I don't impress too easy, I'm gonna tell you.
Amen.
And we were really thinking that we might want to do a special call meeting just because of the time frames. This is a general company, he needs to look at it, decide whether they're going to take it or not, but he has to have a formal interest. You know, everybody on board.
Can the mayor just call that meeting and let us know when it'll be?
Yep, I think, you know, I don't, if you guys can, see if the mayor can pick up a time and thing. Commissioner Will?
I wanna state this, the engineering firm did not cover everything that needed to be replaced at the sewer plant, which bothers me, makes me angry. Our employees are our best source of information as to what needs to be done and the time frame that needs to be followed. Now, Emily has had some contact with the construction workers and the man who represents the engineering firm. I was upset to find out that there are 4 very rusty
Yeah.
valves, and they had not made plans, the engineering firm did not make plans for those to be replaced in the cost of phase one. They were told by the construction company, if I got this correct, that our men would have to go in there and take those out and replace them with aluminum. Everything's supposed to be aluminum. From what research I did, you do not put the junk in that we put in that many years ago.
And
I
it
found
was
very
really
disturbing.
in bad shape, wasn't it? And for them to try to take that out and everything, it's just,
Teresa, that kind of goes along with what I said, not only thinking about the outside operator plan, but thinking of replacing and having somebody else that's, I think, would be more conducive to doing some of the things you're talking
Exactly,
about. I mean,
exactly.
I've heard other people say they're unhappy with the cooperation and the workmanship that we're receiving out of the engineering, and that is something for the board to decide here coming up.
I asked, because I was so upset, and I talked to the men for a little while, and I said, how on earth are you gonna be able to remove this piece of rusty equipment? And he says, well, the screws have rusted off completely. And he said, we'll take a blowtorch and cut them out. I mean, that's how bad it is, but the point is, our men, it's just so nasty and unbelievable up there. When Pat and I went there 2 years ago, the lady from T-Deck was there, and she told us then that one of those beds was, what was the toxic, what was the word she used?
I believe she used the word toxic.
And so
That's
there.
that's what sewer plant is, that's just the way it is.
Oh, Darby, please.
I work, that's what I
please.
done, that's what I did for a living.
Yeah, but that's
Alice
what
is
we're
so
talking
bad.
about.
I know,
is
I what I'm
is
saying, when
a-
we replace it, they're all bad like it when you replace them. I mean, that's just how filthy they are. They're just, they're in raw sewage pipe timer, and back then, the metal was metal. Now they're aluminum,
Yes.
the better materials are.
Everything's just
But,
bad.
and make this work, to you, it's bad, but to them, it's just normal work. That's what
When
I'm
I went and saw those people, to me, they looked like they were shell shocked.
saying. It should be
They were
normal,
so,
yeah.
they just looked so confused
Yeah.
and upset with their conditions that they're working under.
Oh, yeah, I agree with you, it should be a better condition, it should be upgraded.
Well, I don't
As for
want-
them working, they should be used to
Consider-
taking the valve out or something like that. That's just-
No,
Would you consider announcing a special call meeting and pick a time and date today to have the gentleman from,
Can we just try to do it before the BMA meeting?
okay?
Because he's gonna
Oh,
be
you
out of
would-
town for 10 days, and then we can just put it on the agenda for
Okay,
August.
I was wrong, I thought we're trying to catch
Who's
him.
gonna be out of town for
Yeah, I
10
think
days?
he's leaving.
the man that we
Oh,
talked
okay,
to
yeah.
today, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
between,
we'll just call, if you want to do the special call meeting before the board meeting in August, we'll show up
are
at
you
the
talking
same
about the board
time.
meeting?
Well,
Or
what-
our
workshop.
meeting?
Not the workshop, the board meeting, because he's gonna be out of town, right?
Yeah, for
Teresa?
10 days, you
So
can,
we'll just schedule the special call meeting at 5:30 on August the, 22nd, which is the, I'm sorry, the 5th, golly, when is, the 22nd.
And in other words,
So it'll be,
because you
it's
won't be
on the
here.
day of the board meeting,
You won't
yes.
be here, so.
Right, so,
So do you think
well,
that
you
you
do
could come
before
and
this.
sit
What
in
date
on
is
this?
that?
discuss it, and then we'll
This
start the regular
Thursday,
session
it's,
after that.
our
In
meetings
the
are
middle
always
between
on,
these-
wait a minute,
Yeah.
he can't talk to 500 people.
Calendar.
We meet twice a month.
Yes, ma'am.
The second
If you want to
Thursday,
make
we
it
have what we call our planning meeting, okay, and we discuss what we're gonna have at the next meeting. So that nothing will pop up and say, we've gotta vote on this.
So
It's
that's
gotta
next
be-
Thursday.
yeah.
Next Thursday is the second.
The second Thursday of the month, and then the fourth
So next
Thursday.
Thursday.
Perfect.
Second Thursday and
The answer is yes, I can
there's,
be at both of those
Yes.
because you're after hours, so that's
Yeah.
not an issue, I will be here.
cause it's what we plan, try to get it planned, and then our, agenda is made up, and it has to be done by Monday before is it Monday before we meet on Thursdays?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and so, that way we can study about it, and, cause I mean, when you hand somebody, something the day before, then you can't study and get your details, so, and I like details.
Yes, ma'am.
And anyway, so, did you say?
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
You can't make the motion.
Yeah, you can, baby.
He makes the motion now, I can say.
You are,